New at 6, the U.S. Department of Labor is pushing back on claims that it's targeting Iowa over child labor law violations. Some businesses in our state have received fines to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars for following state laws instead of federal regulations. In a letter earlier this week, Governor Reynolds asked the U.S. Department of Labor to reconsider or renegotiate the fines levied against some Iowa businesses. Iowa's all-Republican congressional delegation is also asking the agency to reassess. KCCI's chief political reporter Amanda Rooker has the story.
Employers are going to think that what they are doing in terms of their practices is allowed by law because a new state law has been passed, and not even realize that they are committing potential federal labor violations in their own workplaces.
That confusion now a reality. In an interview with KCCI in May of 2023, Democratic State Senator Nate Bolton issued a stark warning over a change allowing Iowa teens to work later at night.
There are fines and penalties associated with unfair labor practices or child labor practices, and the federal government is charged with enforcing those. And they will do that.
At the time, Republicans like State Senator Adrian Dickey pushed back, telling KCCI, quote, "For years, nearly 24 states have had youth employment laws out of sync with federal standards, and the Department of Labor has never made an issue of it." Governor Kim Reynolds then signed the bill into law. It allows 14 and 15-year-olds to work until 9 p.m. on school nights and 11 p.m. in the summer. Federal law requires teens to be clocked out by 7 on school nights and 9 in the summer. A year later, some Iowa businesses are facing federal fines. Reynolds says she's received reports that some businesses are facing fines up to $180,000 without allowing for any corrections to be made, even if they have no prior violations. In a letter to the U.S. Labor Department, Reynolds asks them to reconsider, writing in part, quote, "Work is equally beneficial for kids. Research shows that part-time employment benefits teens well beyond a paycheck." Iowa is not the only state with child labor laws that are less restrictive than federal requirements. South Dakota is one of more than 20 states who've made the change.
I think this is the federal Department of Labor certainly being very aggressive in its enforcement.
Nathan Sanderson is with the South Dakota Retailers Association. He believes that Iowa is being singled out.
I think the federal Department of Labor is attempting to send a message to the states. And I think that Iowa is kind of being the test case here because of the more recent change in the law.
On Tuesday, the Federal Labor Department told KCCI, quote, "The U.S. Department of Labor is working every day to ensure that children seeking their first work experiences are doing so in a safe and responsible way. But under our watch, that will not include allowing children to be exploited." Amanda Rooker, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
The U.S. Department of Labor says they investigate every actionable child labor complaint or tip they receive. How much business pays depends on the nature of the violations and the underlying circumstances. The agency did not confirm how many Iowa businesses have received fines for child labor law violations so far this year. They say all cases in 2024 are still open.